Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And Jacob Weil.
It's time yet again to explore the vast catalog and find out what's a must or a bust on Disney Plus. Tonight, we're talking about Ahsoka Part 3 Time to Fly. They fly now.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So guys, I don't know about you. This show has been very frustrating for me, not because I'm not enjoying it, but because frankly, I feel like for the Star Wars fans in general, like people are actively not wanting to enjoy the good things that this show does have going for it. Like, I have not been this frustrated with fan feedback on anything in a while. Like, is this show perfect? No. Is it as as thought provoking as something like Andor? No. But I'm having a really good time with it so far. So I don't know. Like, honestly, just the fact that we've got no one watching on the, I don't know. I'm having a little bit of an existential crisis about this, folks, because like we get live comments now. I don't want to sound like we're big hotshots or anything, but we get live comments on some pretty obscure stuff, like the Joker blogs, for example. We're getting live comments, but this, nada. There's no one here. No one cares about this show, but I like it. I'm having a good time with it, and I don't know what to do with that. Jacob, how are you feeling about it so far?
I personally enjoyed this show. I mean, I had to catch up on Rebels in order to really understand what's fully going on. I mean, but I think that's kind of a given when they revealed that it was going to be essentially season 5 of Rebels, but set around the same time as Mando, with a bit of a time skip. So that was actually kind of a given. But it's like I'm personally enjoying the show so far. It's like it's nice to see a return of what Ghost crew is actually left, of what crew of the Ghost actually remains. So obviously it's always nice to see more Ahsoka as well. And I think this show still has a bit of potential. Untapped potential. It's only episode 3. I mean, I don't know how many episodes we're gonna get. Like 8. All right, 8 episodes. So the show's not even halfway over yet. So I think it still has. So I'm not gonna say it's an uphill battle because it's still a good show. But I'm saying like, it still has some untapped potential, and hopefully it reaches that potential.
All right, Dragon, what say you, buddy?
Yeah, I thought this one was mostly kind of a bridge episode for the things to come. We're still
bridge episode.
Yep, it's kind of a bridge episode to a degree.
But, the bridge to Bridger.
Yep, it's the bridge to Bridger. Move
bridge
over bridge
to Bridger Bithia.
Well, literally by a millisecond, you just had to.
Now you just made us sad.
I know. I'm sorry. Well, he is assumed dead at this point, so
you just had to bring up Bridge to Terabithia.
Oh God!
So that book and movies are.
Oh man! Don't get me started on how that book fucked me up when I was a kid, and that movie fucked me up when I was in high school. Like I got a double whammy of Bridge to Terabithia. Anyways.
All right, Dragon, continue.
Hey, I think this episode's mostly kind of a bridge to the stuff to come, because right now we're kind of in that space of the. I mean, it feels like by the midway point, hopefully, by episode 4, maybe probably at latest by the end of episode 4, we'll go through the the ring, the hyperspace ring to basically the big question of where the heck's Thrawn and Ezra.
If Ezra's still there.
Well, it's true. It's going to be really sad if we go the Bridger Terabithia route, apparently. If we kill him off.
Yep, Bridger to Terabithia.
Literally, he died by drowning in a shallow creek.
Sure.
Spoilers for a 50-year-old book.
Okay, but you see my point, though, is that this one is very much we're getting from point A to point B. In an exciting manner, don't get me wrong. I like how we're assembling things in this episode, but, it's very much like a part of me, I think, would have been really blown away had it been like, and we're going to go through the ring right after him versus and we're going to land on this little forest, this little section of forest, and we're going to be hunted until we go through that ring.
Yeah, I feel that.
So I mean, that's like the only negative thing I really have about the episodes is, I mean, can't we just go through the ring by episode 3? Can't we just go there? But I mean, look, it's good. We're building it. We're kind of like getting to know more of our returning characters and such. We with the Harris son and everything. So we're getting there.
Yeah, watching the last 2 episodes, I was like, when are they even going to mention her son?
Yeah, that's the thing. They mentioned, we saw him at the very tail end of Rebels, but we that's the thing. Tiki and I were when we talked about the first 2 episodes. I brought up like, she's got a son. We haven't seen him yet, but she does have a son. And
I'm glad they didn't dwell on that. It's like, yeah, he's there. He's kicking around with Chopper. That's really all you need to know.
Yeah, and did bring up the fact that he wants to be a Jedi. They specifically they didn't mention like why he wants to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
But we all know why he wants to be a Jedi.
Yeah. Okay. So all that said, that's how I'm feeling about it.
His dad is like objectively maybe the best Jedi. I don't know. I've become a big Kanan Jarrus fan over my time watching Rebels.
Here's how Star Wars should rebrand. Okay, whatever the next trilogy is, we go kind of more anthology, right? So each movie is standalone. But here's how we do it. Each movie is like, we've had The Last Jedi. Now we're going to have the best Jedi. And we'll have the second to last Jedi.
The saddest Jedi. The littlest Jedi.
The so-so Jedi. The funniest Jedi.
And basically the adjective Jedi.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
The sleepy Jedi.
The bored,
right, that's fun.
The bored Jedi.
Shut-eye Jedi.
The bored Jedi.
Okay, all right.
So, speaking of bored Jedi, good transition there. Honestly, the training stuff I thought was better in concept than in execution, and for me, it was the one part of the episode that kind of dragged. But honestly, I'm going to admit my own bias here, because for me, and Dragon knows this about me, it kind of drives me crazy when shows don't get to the point when it comes to like when we're just kind of dicking around for a couple scenes before we get to a title screen, just because like I literally have this stupid thing and I need to get it out of my brain, but like I want every like pre-title screen sequence to be like a Breaking Bad cold open. I need to get that out of my head, but at the same time, I have this thing where it's like if it's more than one standalone scene, I kind of start to get a little bit antsy with it. So with the training stuff, did you guys like it? I thought it was fine. I like Huyang's part of it. Huyang is just
he's the MVP.
Frankly, a little gossipy bitch in this episode, and I love it.
Yes, Huyang so far is the MVP for me in this show. I love that he's so bad. I love him.
I mean, yeah, he's David Tennant. How can you go wrong? and of course, and he's not. The thing is, he's more tactless. He's kind of tactless, but it doesn't mean he's not telling the truth.
He's a sassy C-3PO, and I love it.
Yes.
Well, I love how he's both like kind of like more sassy than 3PO, but also more kind of like grounded and world weary at the same time.
Yeah,
like
he saw it all go down, man.
Right, right.
C-3PO essentially got rebooted when it happened, but
So yeah, lots of fun with Huyang in this episode. I thought the training stuff, like I said, is just okay. I do think that people are kind of like making some notes about like one of the things with feedback people have been having about this show that I do kind of agree with, just generally speaking, is I do think the pacing is a little slow. Like one of the things that people point to in episode 1 that I kind of agree with is like, when we first see Ahsoka in the Jedi Temple, like what she's doing is kind of cool, but we did not need to see like her move every single one of those, pillar things. Just things like that where we kind of where we could kind of like speed up the editing a little, and I kind of felt that a little bit in the training stuff.
It's like trying to evoke like a video gamey or Indiana Jones kind of thing with that, but it didn't really have the same pacing as either of those could provide.
Right, I feel that. The training stuff is fine, and I'll say this right now: I really love the dogfight in this episode. Like this episode might have one of my favorite dogfights of the Disney Star Wars era. So like that's pretty high praise. So
with the training, I did notice something. It's a little contradictory in one aspect. I thought it was nice. I liked the idea. Okay, we're warming up for the lightsaber and everything, so we don't do any damage there. However, in Rebels, there's a big moment where it's like, hey, let Sabine train with the lightsaber. I know. It's
arguably one of the biggest moments in the whole show.
So I'm on the fence because it's a different teacher. So we have it's Ahsoka's method versus Kanan. But even Kanan was hesitant to give her the actual lightsaber. Maybe Ahsoka's following in that pattern. I don't know, but it just feels like maybe a bit of a step backwards for her. Like I was trained with the lightsaber with Kanan, and now not so much.
I'd like to think Kanan as a Force ghost is just kind of like screwing with Sabine, like and talking to Ahsoka, like, "Hey, Ahsoka, don't let her train with the lightsaber yet. It'll drive her crazy. It'll be funny."
Anakin, say hi. It's Ahsoka. Say hi.
Oh, God.
We miss you, Kanan.
Don't put on the young. What's wrong with you? Don't put on the young face. Just gonna make her feel worse. Okay,
oh my God.
Anyway, let's see. So I do love the idea we would tee up from the top here. Huyang saying you are the worst Jedi candidate ever, and I've been around.
I do like how they kind of like brought that back in the previously on and really kind of made a meal out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's seen these kinds of candidates for like thousands of years, it's like it's not like he's out of place to say such a thing.
Right, like mathematically, I mean, it's kind of like an evolution of the C-3PO odds thing. It's like mathematically, he is not incorrect.
Well, he's not trying to be mean. He's just being very cold hard facts about it.
Right.
But the point is, like, he's not wrong, but he doesn't have the right tactic in going about it. Like, he's kind of like, it sounds like he's beating her while she's down, but also trying to be supportive at the same time.
Then, of course, we have some shades of Luke training with the blast shield helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so I thought this is a really good bit for Sabine. That Sabine, of course, being a Mandalorian, we saw her wield the Darksaber and stuff. It's not the weapon that's given her issues, which we kind of saw with Din Djarin. It was kind of the weapon itself and the whole, like, the weight of the thing and everything. But in this case, it's the lack of. So it was kind of set up a little bit with the Mandalorians in getting into the, like, fusing with kind of the Jedi way of doing things. It's less the weapon; it's more the Force. Like there's a Force disconnect, which is usually a thing where we've had non-Force wielders, use the lightsaber, like Finn from Force Awakens.
Right.
It was like, he was okay with the lightsaber, but I mean, he didn't have a prayer going up against Kylo Ren. We saw that. He got a spine all singed and everything. It's terrible. That jacket's never going to be the same.
He ruined Poe's jacket.
Finn, do you know how much this jacket cost?
Anyway. Finn, you ruined Poe's jacket. It's a deep cut for you guys. Succession, Christmas, and July pitch. All right.
Let's face it, though. Poe would have been fine with it. He would have understood.
Yeah.
He's chill enough for that.
Just don't want people tell him what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Okay, so let's see. So Hera. Okay, here's a big scene. Okay, so Hera.
I think Huyang is definitely, like, as comic relief goes, he's great, and I do like the levity and gravity he brings at the same time. I think Hera, though, Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Hera, she is the true MVP of the show for me. I think she's frankly, I mean, with all due respect to I forget the actress playing Sabine, and of course I love Rosario Dawson, but I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead is just nailing this role in a way that the other two, as good as they are, they don't, like, leap off the cartoon onto the screen in the same way that Mary Elizabeth Winstead does.
So we have this great scene where Hera is meeting with the Council of the New Republic, including Mon Mothma from Andor.
Yes, I love how Mon Mothma now at this point she's, like, in different timelines in the Disney Plus universe at the same time.
Yeah. And one way another, I just realized that she was in Sky High. Mary Elizabeth Winstead was in Sky High.
Yeah.
I had no idea, until And like we covered, like one of the picks for the debate the other day was Sky High. And I was looking like, wait, she was in that too.
She gets around.
That was probably one of her first roles, I imagine.
It was like, and then like I think what made her really famous was Scott Pilgrim.
Well, Scott Pilgrim put her on the map in a big way. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That and 10 Cloverfield Lane, I feel like were the big 1-2 punch for her.
Even like, and those are like years apart, but still.
Yeah, but I'm saying 10 Cloverfield Lane was the movie that kind of like made people be like, oh, okay, she can do stuff besides just Ramona Flowers. Yeah. And, let me say, with Hera, she is very much not Ramona Flowers. Like, she is very motherly and warm, which is things that Ramona Flowers is decidedly not.
We don't know what her dating life's like now that she's she's kind of a single. We don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah,
so
she's
got a whole slew of evil exes. Who would be Hera's evil exes?
Hondo. Well,
yeah,
evil.
Yeah.
Not evil.
Oh yeah.
Could be an ex though, but not an evil ex.
Yep. And well, there's also that one guy who tried to turn her into a slave, I guess, too.
Yeah, the James Hong character in Blanket, the red guy.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Anyway,
but I mean, technically not an ex, but definitely fits the evil category.
Oh, sure.
Or at least in this case, morally gray. More on the
there was a fling with Callus that definitely didn't work out.
Callus is formally evil, though. He's part of an evil empire, but he wasn't evil.
Yeah, I know. I really hope we see Callus in the show at some point.
I mean, he's the only one that's missing so far, it seems.
We haven't seen Zeb yet in this season.
Yeah, we saw Zeb in Mando. But,
I know, but we haven't seen him here.
Fine. Obviously Zeb's like the big one we're hoping shows up. Well, not as much as Hondo, but he's the other one we're hoping shows up.
Honestly, if Hondo doesn't show up, I'll take Callus. Like, I really want Callus.
I'd like Hondo, the other. I'd like the other pirate character, Viz. No, not Viz. Sorry, I'm thinking the green one with the horn. The one with the missing horn.
I have no idea.
It's Vizago, that guy. Vizago. I'd like Vizago to show up too.
Vizago.
It'd be great seeing. Here's how we should do it. Vizago should be working with Hondo because they're both essentially smugglers and pirates. They worked well together.
And they're doing. They're working under Hondo Hanaka Transport Solutions.
Exactly. So they should. There's or yet again, episode 3 of Hondo Watch.
Falcons on loan to them.
Sure.
Hondo Watch. Hondo Watch.
Jacob, was he in the episode?
No.
Oh. that concludes this week's Hondo Watch. Literally all it's going to consist of until he shows up.
Right. Oh, God.
Anyway, back to the episode.
And then if he does, I'm just like, yes, okay. And then we don't mention it ever again.
Oh, God.
So she's meeting with the senators and the council.
I love the kind of like the shade on the pleasantries that goes down with the Mon Mothma stuff. Like, like Mon Mothma's like, oh, how's your son? Oh, he's fine. He's running around with Chopper, that little rapscallion. And then the other senators are like, enough with this pleasantry shit.
Zizano, if I'm saying his name right, I'm probably butchering it. Ziano.
Yeah, Ziano. It's like Xiano or something.
Right. Yeah, that's how it's spelled. So Ziano. He's an utter prick. This guy, just such a stupid, hoity-toity prick. I hated this guy.
Stupid hoity-toity prick is kind of like exactly what we want from a New Republic villain. So it fits the bill quite nicely.
It fits the bill. I'm just saying, like, we're hating him because we're supposed to hate him, so he's doing a really good job.
Basically, he's like the epitome of an obstructive bureaucrat.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
The fact that this guy, it's like even he's like saying, "Oh, you're just using this to fund your little Find My Friend campaign." But you know what? Even if there's a chance, just a chance that Thrawn, the big bad guy who threatened the whole rebellion, if the big bad guy could even possibly be coming back, because people have been dying because they've been getting parts for some big project that is most likely going to be used to fund bad stuff. Bad stuff that could include getting Thrawn back, which is terrible. Why not be safe than sorry?
Right.
And also, fine, she's using it to find Ezra. You know what? The guy helped, help save everyone's bacon, and he helped again.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're acting like saving Ezra is a bad thing. Like, oh, heaven forbid we can't waste any resources finding a fucking war hero.
How in debt are? It's been 5 years. How low on fundage are you right now? You're the only good guys in the galaxy right now. Is it really that hard to find funding?
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so F that guy. So is it Jason?
Yes, Jacen.
Yeah, with the C. So
Yeah.
Jason and Chopper, and they show up in the episode.
Can I just say I am just cherishing every second of Chopper screen time that we get. I think he is adapted from the cartoon to live action just so perfectly.
I was dying to know if we have real arms on him or not.
I was just about to talk about Chopper. It's like, I love Chopper in the original. Like, he's just like this. Like, he's basically a cranky old man in the shape of a droid.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then he's still cranky, and he's still basically a cranky old man now. And I just like, and I'm like, but he's like, he's cantankerous, he's cranky, but he has a good heart deep down, or good processor deep down, good motivator, I guess.
There you go.
And he'll still pull through.
He's no R5. R5's got a bad motivator.
Oh God.
Yes.
It's like, hey R5, we need you to search this planet, see if it's toxic. Nope.
No. But anyway, still, but yeah, should love Chopper, and his like it seems like he gets along well with Jason, which is really nice.
Yeah, this is his buddy Kanan, so
I just imagine that those two are getting into like Spritle and Chim Chim from Speed Racer style shenanigans behind the scenes.
Sure.
It's like a droid and his boy.
There's a series of kids book for you. A droid and his boy.
Oh my God.
I mean, because let's face it, he'd be the one in charge of the situation.
Oh, of course, yeah. I'm stuck. I have this boy. Boy, go do things. Go. Go make mischief. We'll do it together. Space mischief.
Now this kind of reminds me of God of War.
All right, so little cute gag here. Jason wants to be a Jedi, and you see his mother's really touched by this. Of course you do.
Aww. I think we all know why he wants to be.
Thinking of Topper Jerry.
All I want from this show, as far as the Kanan stuff, is I would really love to see a live action recreation of his death.
Yeah.
Because it's such a powerful moment that is literally like seared into the eyes of everyone who witnessed it.
It's definitely it's a defining moment in the Rebels series.
Yeah, I think it's a defining moment in Star Wars, just in general. Honestly,
people like. Rebels isn't like the most unknown in the Rebels in the Star Wars series, but like people always like go to Clone Wars or like the original Clone Wars in like terms of Star Wars animated series. And like, you don't hear a lot of talk about Rebels, but
I think Rebels is getting, as time goes on, Rebels has aged very well, and I think people are starting to realize that.
I guess some of the best moments in the entire canon, look at the fight between like Darth Vader and Ahsoka in that series.
Yeah, it's that, and then Kanan's death. Those are the two big ones that stand out to me as like all timers as far as Star Wars canon.
I know you haven't seen it yet, Tiki, but again, in Obi-Wan, we essentially try to replicate that Ahsoka Vader fight.
Right, and I heard it's not nearly as captivating.
Well, of course. I mean, it's the big Ahsoka Vader fight.
And not to mention,
what's crazy about that fight is that it's not even the most dramatic moment in the episode for me. For me, that's when Kanan gets blinded.
Yeah.
And not to mention also, thinking of all the stuff they did with Maul in that show.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus. Sorry.
Anyway. Let's see. So, Yeah. So anyway, it'd be nice to see. One of the great things too about Kanan's death was that actually it was a death that actually stuck. We didn't just we're not stabbing people willy nilly and have them walk it off.
Yeah, no, that honestly was not. If there was like one thing in the first 2 episodes that I thought was just definitively like a bad omen, it's definitely that for me, writing wise.
Jacob doesn't know about this, but in the first, when Tiki and I did the first episode, we made this joke about Filoni's hat.
Oh God, I forget. Remind me the context of it.
Essentially, because I was just so tired of the stabbing, but then it's comparatively it's a little excusable because at least the ship's showing up by the time she gets stabbed, so she's hoisted to the med bay at least. But it's just in general, it's like bad Filoni, like you imagine Filoni knock his hat off. Filoni, come on, man. Have we learned nothing? Okay, we just keep stabbing people, and then we have like that Rey character from the Raya character from Kenobi, and is he showing up and going to the planet? Riva character, sorry, not Rey, the Riva character. And
technically, Filoni didn't write that show.
No, I know. I'm saying he's not learning from like in general what they've been doing in Star Wars, and like Filoni, you were different. You could have done it right. We're putting people in back to tanks, and we're stabbing them. They're walking. There's walking that off, rubbing dirt in it. Come on, man. Okay, well, you know what? There was a ship that showed up at the last second. It's like you pick up the hat, you dust off. Dave, I might have overreacted there. I'm sorry for knocking the hat off.
Well, to be fair, it's like it didn't look like it hit any much of her internal organs. Like it hit her like in her abdomen. And
well, yeah, that's why I dusted the head off and put it back on his head. Jacob.
People can survive like fatal, well, I can't say fatal.
I think she should have probably been wearing like some sort of like armor, or if she was, it should have been more conveyed in the plot that she was wearing armor,
like wearing a tourniquet or something.
Right. I think that would have excused a lot. But Jacob, generally, I agree that like you're right. It's like. But I don't know, for me, my headcanon is a little kid, and maybe I'm off on this, but like when I was a little kid, I always assumed that basically like if a lightsaber impaled you at all, that was pretty much like instant death.
Well, in general, that's how death kind of works, Sticky.
Well,
I mean, people have survived impalements depending on where they got impaled.
Were they impaled by a laser sword, though?
Right, thank you.
Well, I mean, it depends. I guess it depends on where the laser sword got stabbed.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying, as a child who grew up with Phantom Menace and seeing the, like Qui-Gon die and then Darth Maul literally get cut in half, like...
You remember, like, the Science of Star Wars specials they had on the History Channel? Did you guys ever see those?
I remember them being advertised. I don't know if I ever sat down.
I remember them going over when the whole, like, if a lightsaber real and you were hit by the whole, it would cauterize the wound.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, that is the argument I hear, is the cauterizing the wound thing, right?
I mean, sure, but still, I don't believe. I still, to this day, I think it's the biggest heap of BS that Reva be like to go all the way to Tatooine, and just like, where is that Luke boy? I'm angry at for no reason. Where is he?
He should have been the main character of this show and not Leia. God damn it!
I can't pick on Vader, but I want to kill a kid for some reason. Where is he?
I'm supposed to be the sympathetic one.
Oh my God!
Look at me! I'm scary. Be sympathetic towards.
Like, why aren't you sympathizing with me? I just want to kill this kid over here.
I'm waving my red lightsaber of death. Look at me! I'm Reva at a rave.
Oh God! All right. I think we've sufficiently picked on that character.
The dark side is all the rave right now.
Oh my God.
Reva! Okay. Getting back to the episode. So, here's a very small detail. I don't know if you guys cared about this at all. This really small detail. After the training, when they're on the ship, I forget if we're on the I guess we're on the Ghost still.
Uh-huh. Is the Ghost or the Phantom now?
That's the thing. Are we? No, the Phantom isn't the Phantom. Oh, I'm sorry.
Phantom's the biggest one, right?
No. The Phantom. No, I goofed up. No, the Phantom's the small and the Ghost is the big ship. So they're on.
I always get that mixed up. I don't know why.
No, here's the thing. When we were talking, that's what threw me off when we talked about it last thing. Is we got introduced to. Well, I know we had the Phantom, but we had the Phantom in a big way last episode. So that just threw me off. But yeah, you're right. The Ghost is essentially the mother. It's the main ship. It's the big one. Anyway, so they're on the Phantom. And after the training, there's this big space for when they train. But afterwards, they hit like a button. A little table setup comes out of the floor. I thought that was really nice.
It is nice. It is nice. Yeah,
it's some nice design work. Yeah.
I also thought that the little bit with Sabine trying to do the Force Cup thing is, it's kind of like a classic Star Wars thing. The whole thing of like the TV remote is across. Oh shoot, Jacob just disconnected. Okay, hopefully he comes back soon. But you know what I'm talking about, Dragon, where it's like you're sitting across.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, we've all had that moment.
Yeah.
You're trying to will it with the Force right back to us, and you hear like the John Williams music, and we saw it like in that George Lucas documentary, wonderfully
exactly, right.
Like, we've all had that. Even Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb said that. Yep.
All right.
Made you look though.
What?
Right. No, that's the gay. It's what Doofenshmirtz says when he tries to do that. I made you look though.
You need to watch the episode to understand the content.
All right, so
I think it also involved bratwurst and hot dogs.
Oh God,
we're not kidding. So our combination of characters here, what we seem to be setting up here, at least in terms of their dynamic. So Huyang, he's a guy who lives and breathes the Jedi protocol, and then we have Ahsoka, who essentially broke that Jedi protocol and tradition when she rebuffed it, and it ended up saving her life through the big old Jedi purge. So she made the smart decision. And then you have Sabine, who essentially is the challenge to both of those mindsets here, where she's the first Mandalorian Jedi in like forever since Tar Vizsla.
And she loses a round to a cup.
Yep.
She's like, "You win this round."
It was a nice cup, though.
It is a nice cup. I mean, I'd like a kind of cup like that for my apartment.
Like a whole little table, little table chair setup. It was like the table and the chair and the cup. It was all came out at once.
I would love to have like a little chair, that little table that just rose out of the ground like that.
I wonder what they were drinking. Do you think it was just water? Or do you think it was like it was like a drink after a long day? Maybe blue milk. We know that much.
Maybe it was some kind of like tea or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was probably a concoction that you can get at Oka's Cantina at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
The guy's simple taste. I just kind of like it. After all that workout, like a nice little cup of refreshing cold water would be nice. Yeah.
Right.
I drink water pretty much constantly, so
yeah.
That would be great.
Exactly. That would be really good.
I mean, I had a kidney stone like 10 years ago.
Okay, well, I think let's change topics to the dogfight.
Yeah, okay, so this dogfight is legitimately, I feel like it feels like Star Wars Battlefront in the best way possible. Where it's like you get that first person view of the cockpit cannons.
The original,
I don't know. I just really like the editing, the quips. I just really thought they nailed it. It feels like a classic Star Wars dogfight mixed with kind of like the sort of like new age spectacle of a Star Wars video game.
Like by Star Wars Battlefront, you're talking about like the early 2000s one or the new ones?
More the early 2000s ones, honestly.
Well, because I don't think dogfights were added until Battlefront 2.
Well,
that's the one I played a lot. Was the early 2000s Battlefront 2.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I did too. I loved playing. I loved playing God mode in that, just wrecking everything.
I was never good at it, but I had friends who played it, so I was like, all right, fine, I'll go along with this. I'll see if I can. So honestly, because of that, because I was never good at it, the whole thing of like Sabine trying and failing to shoot a TIE fighter, and then when she finally does, it's like very gratifying. I'm like, that's what it feels like for me to play Battlefront. There we go.
Yeah, Battlefront was always very fun. Like I never had anybody to play with, but that I love like just playing like the custom single player maps and stuff like that. And like I said, I always like after beating it, I always enabled God mode just to get all the best stuff because you get special bonuses if you go so long without dying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, if you beat it legitimately once, why not just break it to your whim, right?
Oh yeah.
So, Dragon, did you ever play the original Battlefront games?
Not really, no.
All right.
Yeah.
But I do concur with Tiggy on this. It's a very interesting spectacle. It's like it even takes in some interesting new directions in terms of how the dogfights can work in this show, in this thing. Like I mean, this is after the whole dogfight, but like Ahsoka on the wing going against those other fighters was just a great shot, great scene.
Oh
Yeah, I mean, that was like, I don't think it might be a first for what we've seen in Star Wars, seeing someone in a spacesuit, period, but seeing someone like on a spacesuit, like on top of.
it was very very Guardians of the Galaxy.
It did. It felt a lot like that. Yeah. And it was, I think it was just really, I think it was such a cool visual, just like her sitting on top of the lightsabers around, the idea that she can like take down ships and deflect the oncoming blast from the ship. I think that's
Totally.
an insanely cool idea.
That kind of seemed like something that would almost be in like Force Unleashed.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's like I kind of get where people are coming from with like the slow pace when it comes to the training stuff in this episode, but I do not get where people are coming from at all with this dogfight stuff. I think just pacing wise, editing, the humor, I think it's all there. I really do.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Let's see. But yeah, so all that was great, and we also, again, the idea that we have, the Huyang basically kind of taken out of the equation when he finally gets all the answers. He gets short circuited during the battle.
And at least he's a droid. We know he'll be fine.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So that's the thing. He's basically shutting down like C-3PO during the during the stuff in Empire. So they turn him off they turn off all the power. Like, oh, please no, just stay. Oh, it's protocol. Click.
Even he agrees at that point. Like, standard protocol. That's true.
Yep. All right. So the whales of Burgle.
Yeah. Get some Fantasia 2000 action going on.
There be whales here.
Oh my god. Seriously though, really cool.
Every time I think of space whales, I hear the term space whales, I either think of, like, as you just mentioned, Fantasia 2000 or that one episode of Futurama.
Yes.
I know that's kind of weirdly. I enjoyed that episode nonetheless.
Oh, that episode's awesome.
It is Mobius Dick. That's the name of it.
I'm pretty sure it's like the second episode of the whole show, and I think it does like a ton to build out the real building.
Idiot! You are the whale.
The second episode of the show of the series has landed where they go to the moon theme park.
Yeah.
The space whale is like during the Comedy Central seasons.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, because I was thinking of the whalers on the moon. I'm sorry. So it's funny that Futurama has had multiple like space whale themed things.
Kinda, yeah.
So we have and the whales of Burgle are very. And here's the thing: I had not finished Rebels when I first saw this little Easter egg they put in there. So in Mando, I guess it was Mando season 3. I think it was 3. We had Baby Yoda, we had Grogu looking out the window, and he saw something in the in hyperspace. And like when they went to light speed, and we saw the shadow of like big things kind of traveling there. Apparently, we were setting up the Burgle. The whales. We were setting up the whales during that, so that was cool. Yeah, so I'm saying seeing that fully pay off here, and the fact that the whales are following the trail that essentially leads to where Ezra and Thrawn are, because they were very integral in taking out of the equation during all that. So yeah. So then we once everything's kind of calmed down, and Huyang comes out of it. He wakes back up. He exposits what he found, which is the hyperspace ring, which we already kind of figured what's being built on there, but we have it expressed.
But I think this is a really interesting idea for Star Wars, though. And honestly, it's something where it's like it's a little bit new, but it's also something that's very much like fits in the realm of what we know about the tech in Star Wars. Basically, it's like a Stargate, essentially. A hyperspace Stargate.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of talking about, it's funny. This whole season, it seems like with this whole the hyperspace ring, we're legitimizing a very silly George Lucas line. We're legitimizing from Indiana Jones for the space between spaces.
Oh my god!
Essentially, and leave it to Filoni to legitimize the sillier aspects of George Lucas, because he does legitimize them. Where it's like, we're
That's
doing the
pretty
space.
much Filoni's specialty, honestly.
Exactly. It's like, was it a bit much?
If anyone could do the whole like Jar Jar Binks sad clown downfall story, it would be Filoni.
Jacob, do you remember if Dexter was in Clone Wars? I mean, afterwards. Like, I know he's in the movie, and did we develop him any? Because I don't remember him being developed. But Dexter Jetster.
Dexter Jexter.
Yeah, the four-armed like diner owner with the mustache.
I don't remember it in anything.
That's what I said. I'm pretty sure he did not show up. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just wonder if Bradley.
He totally feels like a character that would just randomly be the focus of a filler episode of a Filoni show, though.
Be cool.
The only four-armed character I'm familiar with is Grievous.
Well, they're all familiar with Grievous.
I don't remember. I don't even know who the Dexter. I don't even know who you're talking about.
You know the 50s diner in Attack of the Clones that Obi-Wan goes to?
Obi-Wan gets a tip off for where Dooku might be, or Geonosis is.
I've only seen Attack of the Clones once.
Oh wow! Okay.
And technically twice, and one of them was through Lego Star Wars.
I mean, it is the worst of the saga movies, so I'll give you that.
Yep. So yeah, I haven't seen anything beyond that, so I don't even remember. Well, like I said, General Grievous does talk about a character that was handled well in Clone Wars.
Yeah, General Grievous in Clone Wars. That's honestly one of my main motivations for watching Clone Wars, because I am not a huge fan of him in Episode 3. Honestly, cool design, but I just don't think he's utilized well in the story.
Yeah, he's great in Clone Wars.
I'm sure he is. Okay. Anyways.
It's kind of funny that he actually almost has a tide like one of the characters in this show, almost, right, Dragon?
Yeah, a little bit.
Although, granted, I have seen him in the Tartakovsky Clone Wars.
I mean,
he was a big focus in that too. So I guess that's kind of
we saw what happened to his lungs in Clone Wars.
Right, exactly.
He was also a badass in Tartakovsky Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, he actually does have a connection to one of the characters in this show, and in some kind of roundabout way. So I'm not gonna spoil anything, but
all right.
But you know who I'm talking about, right, Dragon?
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Yeah. So let's see So the point being,
Dragon, I do agree with you that the cliffhanger of them going through the Stargate is right there, and they just don't take it.
Because it does feel like we're going through the Stargate, and then they're in the forest, go get them. It's that's your ending? Really?
I honestly, as much as I missed him in this episode, and honestly, Dragon, I was a little bit lukewarm on that character, but going back and rewatching it, I do think that he's more intimidating and interesting than I give him credit for. I think they're doing a really good job with that role.
Oh yeah.
Who are you talking about?
Balin, the Ray Stevenson character.
Oh, Balin. I didn't hear the name.
Yeah, Balin, yeah, that's the one.
Balin and Hottie.
Yeah.
And Shin Hottie.
Right.
They're pretty interesting characters so far.
Yeah, but I think they established them really well in episodes 1 and 2, and I think we could have taken one episode to just not have them. I don't really think it was needed to just be oh, by the way, guys, the cliffhanger is the villains are the villains. They're on the trail. It's kind of like a non-cliffhanger at that point. It's yeah, we know that they are probably going to, that there's probably going to be a conflict with the villains. Thank you, Joe. Anyways.
And that's about it.
All right. Well,
one last thing, though, guys. This is something kind of outside the show.
Sure, go ahead.
What do you think of Disney Plus finally stepping into the physical media game?
I've not heard about this. Oh, are you talking about the fucking WandaVision thing where it's there's not going to be...
Well, no. Okay, so here's there's been an update on that, Tiki. So,
okay.
Yes, that did happen, but apparently it was, I don't know if it was bad reporting or what. It was like a thing, I think someone got shipped early, or it was going to get spun out of control. So they are now releasing things with actual disc in there. I don't know if that WandaVision thing was something separate, and then they're actually doing the physical release. If they did 2 of those, or it somehow was like released before they put the disc in, and people like were panicking at the wrong thing. But they are going to release them starting with there's going to be Loki, WandaVision, and Mando. Those are going to be the first 3 seasons.
Season 1 and 2 of Mando.
Okay, season 1 and 2.
I didn't hear anything about the 3rd season.
Yeah.
Frankly, we don't need the 3rd season.
But you see, the point being, though, they are starting to physically release them, which is good. I just wish we would kind of like release. Honestly, part of me wishes they release them all at once. But pardon me. At the very least, you can kind of like, for example, I mean, of the Disney Plus shows, I mean, for me, I'm eager for WandaVision. I kind of wish that one was coming out first. But I mean, I really, things like Moon Knight and Falcon Winter Soldier are the ones I really want.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, no commentaries on any of these. I'm going to say that because they're terrified doing commentaries now. It kind of feels like, unless they're the big Marvel movies.
I still think it's so weird how they randomly have Favreau's commentary for The Lion King 2019 on Disney Plus.
It's crazy.
Commentaries are kind of like a rarity.
Yeah.
Now they are.
I know they have the Russo brothers have commentary on Endgame on Disney Plus too.
Oh, that's nice.
That's been physically. I didn't even mean like on Disney Plus. It's been physically on the DVDs nowadays, because really the only ones that don't have commentary are it's Black Widow and the Spider-Man movies. They don't have commentary.
I'm just saying when they do the rare times that they do pop up on Disney Plus, it's a nice little bonus.
No, you're right. That is a great bonus. Yeah, I remember occasionally they did that. I was like, oh, I'm not going to do it for all of them. I mean, they're right there on the disc. Put them all on the thing.
But the Favreau commentary is really funny because he's just like the whole time he's like deluding himself into thinking, it's like the whole like, oh, this movie's so good because it's so hyper realistic. But anyways,
is he like that the whole commentary?
Yes, Dragon. Yes, he is.
Oh man, that just makes me sad.
That's the thing.
First Iron Man movie can't get a commentary, but that movie gets a commentary from Favreau.
He says the word documentary about 500 times.
I want to see. I wonder if he did a commentary for Jungle Book.
I don't know. He probably did.
Honestly,
obviously, Jungle Book's a lot better than Lion King. Obviously,
I think there is a commentary for Jungle Book, but I'm not sure. I think it was like only for like the Blu-ray or something. I think.
I have the comment. I have the Blu-ray, so I'll have to check that out.
Oh yeah, you can check that out then. I mean, there's a chance it might not, but I could have sworn I saw it has commentary on it, but I don't know. I don't have it.
All right, but I personally think it's actually. I said it's about time that they actually got into the physical media game with the Disney.
It was a mistake for them not to do it from the start, frankly. But it's like money they've been sleeping on. Now they're desperately in need of.
Oh God, just the state of Disney in general. I mean, like again, I don't want to like cite our channel as like a microcosm of the entire geek culture sphere, but like once again, stuff that's way more obscure than this has gotten consistent live comments and viewership. This second episode in a row where we have gotten not a single comment. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to like hold our channel up to like the entire fandom, but like that is kind of rare for us now. And it's just like, it kind of goes, for me, it kind of shows that there's just like, like the people like the Code Geasses and Richard's Victims, the Little Blues of the world, they're just not engaged with this apparently. And those people are, kind of Disney's bread and butter. So I'm saying this as someone who generally is enjoying the show. I think it's at the very least a solid 7 out of 10, if not higher than that. So I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic, but it's just frustrating how few people are even like willing to engage with it. And then when people do engage with it, all I hear is, frankly, kind of like vitriol. But anyways, it's over the top vitriolic, to quote David Ayers. All right. Anyways, final thoughts, guys.
I thought the episode was good. I mean, I'm liking the show so far, and like I said, I hope. And I think it's too early to dictate whether the show is actually going to be a fully stick the landing, but I'm optimistic about it so far.
I do think a big parameter for the show sticking to landing, and Dragon, I'm sure you'll agree with this, is like, if by episode 4 we do not go through that damn Stargate, that is definitely going to be a pacing issue.
Yeah. It took us 4 episodes to get Boba Fett out of that tank. So
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess possibly 4 makes sense at least.
All right, Dragon. Final thoughts.
Well, thoughts. I mean, look, that was a solid episode. We're kind of getting things set up, but if only we went through that darn ring.
Okay.
Also needs more Hondo. Okay.
Hondo.
No.
Your friend Hondo Naka.
You guys done?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right, that'll do it for us tonight as we holster our remotes till the next installment calls for the draw. Mono y mono. Just Plus and Us.
Or a Hondo go-to.
Did you check for the spare battery yet?